So Suurin, thank you so much for shooting with me today. It's always great shooting with you. You do such an awesome job. For the folks that'll probably see some of the shots and video, you are one of my favorite models to shoot because you're so good at your poses and everything.
Stop. Thank you.
So for people that maybe haven't seen you before, where can they find you on social media?
So I have 2 Instagrams, but the one that I mostly post to is Wolf Seraine. So WOLFSERAINE. I almost blanked on how to spell it. That is my Instagram. And then on Facebook, I'm under Suurin Seraine. Most people follow me on there right now.
You've got kind of an interesting stage name. Could you maybe tell us about how you came about that name?
Sure. First part, which is Suurin, is just the word for wolf in Finnish. I wanted an alliteration and I didn't like what I had before. So I was like, oh, I really like wolves. So Suurin sounds cooler than just wolf. And then the second part, Seraine, I am a very big World of Warcraft fan. I don't know exactly how the game devs would pronounce it, but there's a character in that game that looks kind of like the same spelling. I think in French, Serena, I don't know how to sound, I don't know French, but Serena means like serene or elegant, whatever.
So anybody that's followed you on Instagram knows that you're into wolves. Could you tell us a little bit about how that all started? And
Sure. I've, always liked animals my entire life. Been, dinosaurs, dragons, Godzilla, bugs, whatever. If it's an animal, I like it probably. Dogs, cats. When I was very young, we went to Yellowstone, and I had gone into this store and saw this stuff. And I'd always liked wolves because I'm a dog person. But I ended up getting a shirt with a wolf on it. And then at one point later on, I ended up seeing a wolf out there, which is like it's kind of a rare thing. So I took it as a sign and I've just kind of carried it with me my whole life. Has to do with my beliefs too. Uh, the indigenous people would call it something different, but like Nordic Scandinavian people call it aphilia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Maybe it's philia. Anyway, it's just like an animal that you really connect to. And that just so happened to be, the defining moment between me and that animal. I was like, okay, so for sure, one of the animals that's going to guide me through life is a wolf. And it just kind of became part of my imagery and this person I've become as well.
we did one of the themes that we did today that shot was a fitness look.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you're in good shape. Do you have any like routine as far as just how you stay in shape and take care of yourself?
Yeah. We spoke about it earlier, but originally I'd gotten into fitness and all that stuff because a boyfriend of mine was like, let's get into fitness. You need to lose weight. But I ended up coming into the weightlifting on my own. I met a couple bodybuilders and I was really kind of inspired by that. And just like I've been thin, and it didn't feel right for me. I felt kind of like I just didn't feel like myself. So I definitely started experimenting, along with the dieting thing that the bodybuilder had given me, this little, meal plan things they give people. And I just did my own research from there. I looked all over the internet at all kinds of diets and workouts and this and that. And, when is the best time to be taking nutrients, protein, and carbs right around your workout, etc. And at one point, I actually went to school for personal training. I was going to test out for NASM. But at that time, everyone else decided to become, a fitness influencer or a personal trainer. So the market got really saturated, and I just kind of was like, I guess this can be a thing for me. As far as the diet goes, I've been up and down, dieting, every diet, tried to dial it just to see how it goes, all keto, whatever. The thing that works best for me is just a moderated diet.
You've been modeling for a while. How did you get into modeling, and how long have you been a model?
So originally, there's going to be a theme going here. Originally, I really liked makeup, which that originated in I paint and I draw, and I've done that since I was a kid. Give me a piece of paper or any kind of medium, I'm going to use that to make art. It started off that, I went to, community college. I had some art classes, and then my parents are like, no, we don't want you to be a digital artist or whatever. Looking back, I'm actually really glad they told me not to do that because all the AI stuff coming out. I finished, graphics school, can I go to makeup school now? And there I went on to go to makeup school. So I went to makeup school in Hollywood. It's no longer open. But that was really fun. I learned a lot. Like what I have today is what I've carried with me since then. I had some really great teachers. I learned special effects, makeup, high fashion, So then from makeup, I went to modeling. I got some experience when I was doing people's makeup to get in front of the camera, and I'm a personality. So I just thought it was kind of natural. It felt a little weird at first. I had to, get my bearings. And then I got really into it because I had been, watching and absorbing from being in the makeup artist seat. And so I started that around like 2011, and I took some pictures with some photographer friends, started there. Then I got onto, the like model mayhem, and from there I just started, my whole process of doing photos with people and kind of figuring out who I was as an artist with that. It was a lot of, the regular stuff though. So it's like high fashion or beauty, glamour, yeah. And I'm not like, that's not really me. But I did it just to be, to have some variety. And then eventually it's evolved from there.
So speaking of the evolution, it seems like from what you and I have talked about, right? You're focusing a lot more on cosplay now.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So I feel like cosplay is the culmination of all of my talents to where it really all comes together, because you've got, you're using special effects to make things, to create these costumes and makeup. You got to have the makeup to sell the character. And then, like I have a little bit of acting experience. So acting the part, just, at BlizzCon this last year, I was going around growling at people. It was fun. And I've always been weird, so it felt natural to me to just be a weirdo in a costume. And it felt really good. It felt like it was right for me to do because I feel less constricted when I'm doing cosplay, and I feel like who I am as an artist shows through what I'm doing, and I can take things that I've seen and put a new spin on it. I don't get to quite the super popular cosplays yet, but I'll probably do some just, to keep it varied. But it's been really fun and feels really good to do. So that's what I'm going off of.
So the cosplay character that we're going to do, that they're going to see today, can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I'm going to assume that most of the people that are going to watch this are not going to know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to do my best to summarize it. So in the game World of Warcraft, there are characters that you can make. One race is called the Worgen. They're humans that can turn into werewolves, so they're werewolves. In WoW, you can be a druid. And a druid is this entity who can shapeshift. They can change in WoW, you can change into an owl, an owl bear, which I love. I love owl bears. I made a character that is a Worgen druid. I have always been a really big fan of the lore. So, kind of what I cosplayed, I wouldn't expect a whole lot of people to be like, oh, but I left one piece of the cosplay that I took almost directly from the game, which is the shoulders. So, people who play the game, which I was going to BlizzCon, so most of them do, they would see it and they would recognize what that was. And they'd go, oh, okay, you're a druid. And the druids have a symbol too, so I made sure to incorporate that in my cosplay. This armor I made doesn't exist in game with the exception of the shoulders. So I wanted to make something based off that because I love that, and I don't really feel like we got a whole lot of time to explore the nightmare part.
Right on. Well, thank you so much for shooting with me. I think we got some good content that we can share with folks. Thank you.
Thank you.